put some fucking pants on and go outside and do some shit.
Nothing to do.
There's nothing to do.
Girl, there is nothing to do.
The Sandhills wants to know what time it is. It's time to get ready for the unlimited social scoop. Introducing Nothing to Do, the Sandhills Social Scene Podcast, straight from the Share Studios with your host, Dominique.
2-6, and what up, everybody? It is episode 43 of the Nothing To Do podcast, and I am hanging out with my best bro, Brian, who is also my producer. We're right here in downtown Fayetteville, if you can't tell. So I had a very, very interesting week last week, and I put together a little snippet of everything that I did last week, from Michael Williams Jr. becoming 23-1, big ups to my dog, to Zombie Walk. If you guys missed that, you sure missed a thing. But let the video talk for me, and I'm gonna go inside and meet with our next guest, which is Dr. Neil Ray. And you guys might know him from a couple open mics here and there, but I'll let him talk about it. So I'll see you guys soon. Watch this video.
A unanimous decision in the red corner.
Sleeping in your bed. Oh, who you gonna call? Ghostbusters! I ain't afraid of no ghosts. I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
You did it once, it's time to do it again. This is Dennis D from Laugh It Off. We're here at BFW 6018, where come November 2nd, we're gonna have a comedy show featuring Slim the Comedian, John Simpson, Stephanie, headlined by BFW 6018's own Gerard Sidbury. You can get your tickets on Eventbrite, or you can come to the BFW Pro 6018 and get your tickets there. See you there.
All right, guys, it's episode 43 of the Nothing To Do podcast, and there are very few and far in between when it comes to legends in town, but I am blessed to be sitting next to one of them. Dr. Neil has had one of the most longest standing open mics. You play all things percussion, and you're just honestly just badass and cool.
Well,
How do you accomplish that?
I'm honored that you think it is. I'm very fortunate. I think most of it came up from being driven. Just having an open spirit, being able to just be who I am and take the punishment that comes with it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when growing up here in the 60s, especially when I could run down Person Street, and this used to be a clothing store, now it's a sweet shop, and Person Street was actually where a lot of folks would come in from the country on the weekends and party waddy. And I found this out because I was spending more time on the other end of Hay Street, because that was the Vietnam era. So I would be hanging around with a lot of GIs and stuff like that. So I grew up in the city, born midwife on Blunt Street, no far from here. So I had that hunger, that strange desire to be different inside of me. I don't know what it was. It just happened.
So, what steered you into the musician route?
Well, I always enjoyed entertainment. Um, I remember when I was smaller, I would watch television and be amazed at the stars and the like the Tonys and the Oscars, and I was saying, "Oh, that'd be great." And
Then you became one.
yeah, I'd be great. I never thought about nothing like that, though. I think when I first started doing the open mics back in '98 at the coffee scene, um, I had no idea about being a musician. I had done some music in junior high, but it was a summer thing. I was doing a trombone, but I wasn't patient enough with it. And then that was the area that got me. Since I wasn't patient, I just let it go. Over the course of time, I started going to drum circles, and I found I could hold a beat, make things happen. So, you know, it didn't have to be all technical, at least from my point of view. I know there's a lot of technique to it, and I give respect to a lot of drummers and percussionists out there because you guys and girls make it rock nicely. So I give you props on that. But I just had a feel for what I wanted, and fortunately, I was able to find a place where I fit in, and just came up from there.
Nice. So, in the music era back or scene back when you were saying you were running up and down Person Street, tell me about it, because my great grandmother and my uncle wouldn't tell me many things about downtown Fayetteville.
They were trying to protect your interests. Yes.
So, how was the scene back then?
Back in the, I would say the late '60s and '70s, this was a very active area for, as your grandparents would say, the wrong reasons. Um, but the music was hot, very good hot. As a matter of fact, we used to have a place up on the right there now where they have the Airborne Museum. In that area right by the bridge, there was a club called the Cellar, and they would have rock bands perform there. Um, behind the Cellar on Hillsborough Street, I went to a place called Sarge's Lounge. It was one of the places where a lot of the African American black people would spend time because it was jamming. That's where you got your disco on and stuff like that. Across the street was I think it was a Quality Inn or something hotel, but it had a place called the Starfire Lounge or the Firelight Lounge. I can't remember now. And you would have a lot of different music in there. So that whole area had its own music kick right there. And of course, ended up building the Cumberland County Auditorium. And I saw my first concert there. And that was a strange mix of White Witch, or White Witch or Spooky Tooth and Charlie Daniels. So that was wild. So that was really something of another level right there. So music was good, and I didn't know a lot of local musicians at that time, but you know some of the heads I probably talked to later and realized what they had done to help promote and bring this musical knowledge to a new degree.
So, moving forward to the open mics, like what made you feel like it was something that we needed here in the city?
Well, basically, I think I give props, first of all, to Miss Kiki Mayners over at the coffee scene, because she had a little small coffee shop, and she had a guy named Steve Rylander, the late Steve Rylander, and he was sort of like facilitating things. So they did not have a PA system. You just walked in. It's so small, and with the couches, he would just invite people to speak on Sunday nights. And they would do that. Well, when she moved over to the location, this was Westwood Shopping Center,
I
and she
remember.
moved over to the location next to the movie theater. They had an upstairs, and the crowding, the people got a little more thicker, and they weren't as much involved with the poetry. And Steve decided to quit. And I had known Kiki for a long time, and I told her I would do it. And I took over, and I'll have to admit, for the first few months, it was hit and miss on some Sunday nights. It was still getting the crowd, but you could put them all in a little circle. I mean, there'd be about 5 or 6 people and everything. And I think the thing that made the difference was, it was about that time they had the Columbine shooting. So after Columbine, and a lot of teenagers were hanging around the coffee scene, Kiki sort of set about a dress code rule. Like, for example, the leather, I think it was called the long coat crew, I forget, trench coat stuff. She put a little niche on some of that coming around the facility. And so when she set up rules for clothing and action, I set up rules for poetry.
Uh-huh.
And it gave me the option to go in and say, look, okay, first of all, let's talk amongst ourselves, respect each other up here, and we're gonna go from there. And it became the rules and regulations became a standard for us.
Mhm.
And people began to respect them, so it became almost automatic. You couldn't go up there saying anything. You had to remember where you're at. This is a family venue. There's 7 words the FCC don't like, we don't like them either, so don't bring them to the house. You know, don't speak loudly. And of course, back then, cell phones weren't a thing, weren't in existence to that degree. But you tell people to be easy with computers and things and keep your conversations. My thing was this. Look, if you're at a place you want to be with somebody with, and you're having a good time, especially if you're a couple, get close.
Yeah.
We'll spend that here. Create something for later on that night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, don't make it all crazy.
I do remember, this was around 2000, 2001. I was a junior in high school, and there weren't many times that I got caught breaking curfew. But I broke curfew to see my friend Will perform at the coffee scene in Westwood Shopping Center. So very, very familiar with. And I do too, like, think it's very important because a lot of us have things on the inside that we need to get out. And I think it's really cool to have one space where, whether you're a musician or a poet, you can do it all.
Oh, yeah.
So let's talk about your poetry. You're doing an event tomorrow with LJ Bowens, who's been on the show, Art Meets Life. Are you going to be doing poems, drumming, both? Give us a sneak peek.
A sneak peek is I'm just going to be out there.
Okay.
I'm going to be out there because I don't primarily establish anything in particular.
Uh-huh.
When I come to events like this, I'm more of a whatever I'm feeling type person.
Okay.
So, but I do have some ideas that I'll be working with, and I'll surprise some folks with what I do. But I'm more of a spur of the moment kind of guy. But I learned that too because I was doing it when I was in Colorado at a slam event.
Uh-huh.
And I remember one of the guys who did the slam was an older gentleman. And I was outside having a smoke. And the older gentleman walked outside, and he had been the sacrificial poet. And I remember him walking out and saying, well, you know, those guys and girls, they got good stuff going on, but at our age, we're just storytellers. And that stuck with me.
Yeah.
It really stuck with me. And I think I changed to the idea of there's some poems I can do off memory, and I can dress them up any way I want to because they're my child.
Yeah.
But there are also elements that I bring into the mix that fall in that AIDRA process. And as we all know, AIDRA is what you sell things with. You get the action, attention, desire, resistance, or the
So
in action.
come here at the Sweet Palette on Person Street at 8 p.m. Friday to see Dr. Neil do his thing. And you also have more open mics besides the coffee scene, which you're there every Monday, right?
We're every Monday at the coffee scene from 6:30 to 9. And I also do the Vibe Gastro Pub, which is Fayetteville's award-winning 100% plant food-based restaurant.
Get it, Avery.
We do it. What we do that is though it's more of a original music open mic. So we bring in young or seasoned musicians, or just to come in and sing a song, but it's original. Everything is original, and we do open up for a poet every now and then, but basically it's still original.
Okay. So you can catch the doctor at one of two places, and your social medias, you keep everything updated on there?
Well,
Not really.
I'll be honest, folks.
I do a horrible job.
I've got an Instagram and I've got a TikTok. I don't use the TikTok as much. Yeah, I'm probably getting hit me up on Instagram as a Neil Ray. That's all. There's no big thing. And my Facebook page, which is Neil Donnell Ray. So I'm not throwing my night walker status out there because that's what they like to call me, the night walker. I find comfort in shadows type thing. You know what I'm saying? And everything. And they call me the Reverend Doctor. That was a gift from Mr. Patty Gibney from a party at his house years ago. But I will have to say that I officiated a wedding about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, some good friends.
So you are a reverend. But again, we'll see you guys at Sweet Palette. I want to thank you so much because, like I said, you're a legend in my eyes. You're everything. We'll be right here at Sweet Palette, 8 o'clock for Art Meets Life with LJ, featuring Dr. Reverend Neil. It's the Nuthin To Do Podcast. We'll be back.
Welcome to the Share Studios, your ultimate destination for content creation excellence. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, our state-of-the-art facilities and expert team are here to support your creative journey every step of the way. From podcasting to videography, photography to live streaming, the Share Studios is your one-stop shop for bringing your vision to life. Ready to unleash your creativity? Email us at info@thesharestudios.com and let's get started today.
All right, guys, episode 43 of the Nuthin To Do Podcast with your host, myself, and my producer, Brian. And as you saw by Dr. Neil himself, there's a lot of good open mics going on around town where you get some stand-up music and originals, too. Right now, we're sitting at FTCC because we were invited by the culinary class to come and sample some foods. And one thing is for sure, two things are for certain. Brian and Dominique are not going to miss a meal. So if you guys ever get a chance to check out FTCC and all the cool things they've got going on, like they've got a dental program, come get your teeth whitened and stuff, just go to their website and check it out. Coming up this weekend, I've got tons of things to do, and I can't wait to tell you guys about them on next week. But as for now, voting is Tuesday. So no matter which side you're voting on, vote responsibly. Now, I know Brian's like, what? Now, here are all the things to do. And we'll show you a little sneak peek of our food in just a second. It's episode 43 of the Nuthin To Do Podcast. Bye. What me now?
If you're watching this, it means DJs at the Polls is bringing the beats to local polling locations on Election Day, Tuesday, November 5th. Local DJs are spinning the sound of democracy to turn Election Day into a party. Remember, who you vote for is private, but whether you vote is public information. Don't miss the party hosted by DJs at the Polls. Get your vibe and vote on at the Polls on Tuesday, November 5th.
Thanks for tuning in to the Nothing to Do weekly podcast, recorded at the Share Studios in Fayetteville, North Carolina, with your host, Dominique. And make sure to tune in next week because it's only going to get better.